Okay, the DC pump. So instead of an AC pump you plug into a wall, it's a DC. You can actually plug it into the wall. It has a 24 volt transformer. This one's the 9,000 litres an hour by Jebao, or whatever it is. Jebao? I can't even say it. But it's just a Chinese knockoff of pumps that usually cost hundreds of dollars. And you can see it's very efficient. It is very quiet, and it has all the normal kind of stuff that is pretty sexy. So I've just plumbed her in. This is a anchored raft. So instead of a floating raft, you can see there's half of it, and the other half I just pulled off. But you see how it sits on the edges, can't go up and down. But the water level in the actual bed comes up and down as the beds are filling. So at the moment there's a 4,000 litre tank behind us with all the fish. This is the sump for the system. So the anchored raft basically is the opposite of everything the grow bed's doing. So when the grow bed's full of water, the anchored raft goes down to this level, which is like the empty, basically, empty sump. And then when the pump turns off, this will fill back up, act like a sump. It'll fill up to about an inch below all the net pots there. You can see the bottom of in the reflection. Holds about 60 plants or something. It's a new design. There's the grow bed, so you can see the gravel grow bed. So that's holding about 1,000 litres in the gravel grow bed. It's in another greenhouse, that's why I have to peer through the little hole there, so it's pretty big. And this is probably holding about 1,500 litres when it's full. So yeah, we've got other videos about these tanks. They're all custom made, specially made outlets, and so they can be staggered one after the other, and you can just keep adding on as you want. But anyway, back to the review. The DC pump. It's got a little controller and all that kind of jazz, so lots of buttons to press. So here's the little controller. I'm sweating a bit in here, it must be about 50 degrees in this greenhouse. So there's the little controller. You can press the feed button for 10 minutes to pump off. I have this one on a timer anyway, and at the moment this is running from solar. The whole reason I got a DC pump was so it would run from solar. At the moment I'm kind of wasting energy because from solar, because this is a power pack that comes with it, 24 volt DC, so much like a laptop kind of job. Fuck, it's pretty hot. Put that out of the sun for a minute. I think my only gripe with the pump is that the cords are really short. You've only got a couple of metres. Like, I couldn't even hang that on a wall higher than my head. There are no hanging points on the back of it, which is a bit of a letdown. Even just like a little hook hole would be good, so you can hang it somewhere. I don't know really where you're supposed to put it. So pump itself is very quiet. Most of the noise you can hear in here is a couple of outlets that come in from the other grow bed in there, one there and one underneath there, that are pumping all the air and water back in. So the pump itself, it's a little whisper in the background. It's kind of ironic that my other pump, 3,500 litre pump, has now become a paperweight for the new pump. So the new pump's sitting on top of the old pump now, just using it as a brick. But the old pump stays in here because I have a 32mm line which the old pump runs on, and that's always there just as backup. So if anything goes wrong with this pump or any others, all I've got to do is turn that round, plug it into this pipe, and we're pumping water again. It's always good to have a fail safe. It's you never know what can happen if you lose a pump. I'm not going to wait 5 days to get another one, everything will be dead. But anyway, this pump, so ignore that pipe because that's actually not a part of this pump, that's just sitting there, using, this is a brick, so it's got a brick system. But either way, 40mm pipe, which I'm really impressed with. 40mm screw coupling under the bottom of the outlet on the pipe, on the pump to the pipe, and the 40mm runs up, goes about 2 metres. The head height for this pump's 4.3. So that white one is the new pump running into the tank, and you can see it going in over there. So the 30mm, the green one there, 32mm, that's the backup 1 hour backup system. I won't pull it out, and I won't pull the pump out either. Just show you this tank. That's the water flow at the moment. So that's a 40mm pipe coming in, and that's dumping a lot of water. That's pretty much a full 40mm pipe water coming out. It's put this tank to its limits for overflows and everything. Everything's working overtime. I've got 25mm just sucking the top, skimming the top there, and a 40mm going right down to the bottom where all the fishies are. It's pretty hard to see at the moment. They're all hiding in the corner in the dark over there. But yeah, that 40mm is coming back out, so that's the return to the main grow bed here, one of the grow beds in the greenhouse. It's only just been replanted out. This same with the raft. We've got some other, older systems lying around, but these are the new toys. So the new system was the anchored raft. Basically coined the term for that one. It's there's a cranky and a few other methods that are similar, but still nothing like it. It's not that I've seen anyway, and I've looked around everywhere once I thought that this is what I wanted to do. So they're just basically net pots in a stationary raft, so no more floating, and the water levels are perfect. It builds up to just under the rim height, is full, and does its thing. The levels go up and down, so all the roots from the plants, they don't get saturated, or, they're not underwater 24/7. At half the day they're dry for an hour, then they're wet for an hour, then they're dry for an hour. But yeah, what I was supposed to be focusing on is the pump, so I should get back to it. Alright, anyway, if I turn this up to full, I'll do it just for 1 second and I'll show you. It's crazy. You'll hear it amp up a little bit. It's whisper quiet though. Put the mic right in there for you. It's pretty much gone to full. It's very, very quiet. Very efficient little pump. Quite amazing. One in here, it's gone super crazy. It's just the amount of water is now making the overflows not be able to cope, and it'll start trying to find its way anywhere out of here. It'll start finding its way to the 90mm inlet over there in a sec. So I'll just turn that off because I don't want to do that. Just wanted to show you. But at the end of the day, having full control is just beautiful. I'm generally running this on about 2 to 3 at the moment. Put it at 2 for a moment so everything settles down. Hopefully fish weren't getting sucked into pipes or anything crazy. But look, very powerful, 9,000 litres an hour. I'm probably only doing 3.5. You can control 60% of the speed with this, so down 60 kind of thing, with your little fish thing. Again, my biggest gripe is the cable's just way too short. For an area with this much water, whether it's DC or AC, I don't want power near it, so I'm going to have to do something about that. I don't like it even being in here. These greenhouses get really, really hot. Actually too hot. The next upgrade's putting solar vents into them all, solar fans to keep them all running. But this thing lets me control the flow down the standpipes really well. So it's working everything a lot harder than my other 3,500 litre an hour pump was doing. That's the 25mm outlet, and that's the 40mm inlet coming in here, which is just doing its thing. It's really, really happy. I think all around great pump. Just if they could have extended those cords, that would have made more sense. But fantastic pump because I've got solar panels over that roof everywhere, and control boxes in there and everything. And the DC pump lets me use the solar panels. If I plug the AC smaller pump, it's only 40 watts into solar, it just can't kick it over. It's just too much of an amp kick needed to get the pump going. When these U-Butte little pumps, the DC ones, are just excellent because it starts really slow and works its way up to get speed, so it can easily handle a solar system, even a small solar system. Like that one's running off a 100-watt panel with a really old crappy battery, and it's got no dramas knocking that over. So yeah, really happy. Really, really good investment for, I think it was $200 delivered. So yeah, not bad all around.